He threw a pearl. If there's no fortress there, he just pearls over here, right? So in this point of time, throwing an eye that was, well, throwing a pearl that's not that, I don't know, just throwing a pearl basically on accident or in a bad move doesn't cost that much time. So this is pretty harmless.
So like good luck on that, but nothing like too.
Turns out that it was the best play in the situation. Always go to open netherways instead of lava lake, yeah. But I think this is a sound play, and it's also harmless. Even if this returned nothing, he would have got to here. He sees nothing in the lava sea. He would have turned around and pearled off into the open as well. I think this is a totally fine, if not a good play.
Crazy, and I start pulling around and instantly find a fortress.
I'd have to pause to make that move actually, because I'd think, well, do I go left or do I go right? Right would be better for mushrooms. But left, there's no harm in checking it. Because he's got so many pearls. If he was only on 14 pearls, this would be a mistake that happened to turn out well. But he's got so many pearls that it doesn't really matter. He's got so much food as well. That was a harmless check that didn't cost him any time if it went wrong. And it ended up saving the run, basically. It was a harmless risk with the amount of pearls that he had.
To not talk about random things and just talk about what's going on. So I'm looking at my chords here. So the Bastion was in the positive quadrant, so I knew that the fortress was going to be.
That was a very well placed pearl.
In negative positive.
I wouldn't have trusted that island
and I
much.
I pearl onto the good part of the fortress. That pearl was extremely risky, but I had fire red.
Pearling in the fortress there is probably his first brilliancy. I'm not sure, but I feel like very little players would pearl inside a fortress. But I think that was, at this point, I was impressed. I think it showed there that he was pretty experienced with having a lot of pearls. Maybe he's played something else where you have a lot of pearls. But he says that he isn't too experienced with bastions. He doesn't say it, but he implies it. And it also shows in that bastion routing that he was doing. But that one pearl there saved him a lot of time. Because he didn't have much pearl usage in the brilliancy, gaining 120 sensitive forms. It turned out that the overworld didn't have much area to pearl around in. Although there kind of was, but he used the boat instead, which was pretty harmless, but we'll get there soon.
I checked, let's see that.
But yeah, there's not much terrain left, really. And if he was kind of keeping track of coordinates, it turned out that being on top of this was actually the best place to put a portal, statistics-wise. SharpieMan20 looked at the numbers, and that was basically the best location that you could blind travel from. Which is pretty crazy, because he doesn't use the calculator. Not that you need to. All the calculator does is tells you the nearest good location. Goes right to it with no F3. No, he was keeping track of his coordinates the whole time.
I have 150 still on my
reasoning is sound, yeah.
Screw it. I might as well just drink another one now, because I don't want to accidentally forget that I don't have fire res when I'm going for this blaze stuff. So
that extra fire res is totally fine as well. I don't mind him using another fire res there.
This gas is shooting at me. Not the greatest, but I have fire res, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. I kind of just ignored him. Killing the blazes, 0 for 1, and then I get 1 for 2 here.
I think if anyone wants to be suspicious about something, it's that every good run he's had excellent pearl rod rates. And that's probably the only thing that the mods are looking at, is that his pearl rod? Why did I say pearl rod?
I actually barely used the spawner. The spawner was not cool.
His rod rates are just excellent in every single good run that he's had. It's
chance of spawning mobs and fortresses.
It's odd.
Very apparent in a second.
Pearl rod.
So spawners aren't even like quote unquote necessary. Obviously they're helpful, but not like super necessary. I was hearing a lot.
And this is actually the other. Well, he didn't quite do it yet, but he talks about it. Looking for stray blazes is just about one of the best ways to get a world record.
See that, you know, on my left there's like 50. 2 for 3.
What do you mean, did they? It was only just acquired today.
And I believe 4 for 5, yeah. So
This
I
time.
have 4, and I'm trying to play risky now. I decided to leave the spawner.
He says it's risky. This is great. What's wrong with it? It says it's as if, right? It's as if there's an extra spawner right here. There's 3 blazes. It's as if there's a spawner right here that's just popped. You can go off and kill 3
I decided to
blazes.
play it more safe.
This is a great play.
Kind of in that pit, and just go.
Again, I think this is a play that not many people would do, especially in a scary open fortress like this. I think most players would be pretty hesitant to start wandering around looking to kill some stray blazes. But it's absolutely the best play in the situation. Relying on the spawner to cycle is just, I don't know, it's not that good for world record.
Go for these ones out here.
Because again, he says he's only playing for world record.
I think about going for this dude, but he is so far down. I'm gonna screw it. And there's a wither skeleton that withers me to the left. And I didn't realize it was a mess, so that was very scary. I jump over here because I know they're all gonna chase me and they're all gonna just fall, which they do. It's actually pretty funny.
Best place to build
So
a
I don't
portal?
worry about that
No.
anymore.
I wouldn't make a portal. I wouldn't poke around
I
trying to
go 6 for 7 and then
multitask
6 for 8, and I
in
see
this
2 wither
situation.
skeletons
This
chasing
is
me.
too wide
I'm screwed.
open.
I'm
It's a
out.
Soul Sand Valley
Garage, I might as well
fortress.
just
There's gonna be wither
try and get
skeletons
out of here.
everywhere.
And I decide to make a random portal instead of going back to my own because I'm like, you know what? This is pretty good pace. We're gonna random portal it. And
Leaving with 6 is totally fine.
let's just say that decision paid off. There's a reason you're watching this video.
You're banking on low rolls if you get 7 rods. You're hoping that you low roll if you get 7 rods. He's only looking for high rolls because he's only going for world record. So he goes for 6, which is the only good play. If he got 7, it would be a misplay. Why does he make the golden boots at the start? Because he entered a bastion.
Cool moment of the video. I knew my chords. I checked.
You
my
can't
chords
enter
on the
bastions
spawner.
without
I know
gold
it's a good
boots.
distance to randomly teleport. And I spawned in an ocean cave.
Or a gold helmet for that matter.
Because I purposely went higher up because I didn't want to spawn in an ocean cave. And
By the way, going left after leaving the bastion took him to the closest region. He was at the center of the nether though. It was harmless, any direction. He's mining for either no bastion or bastion. Then he sees one, he just makes it into boots. I usually get 4 ingots first, wait for him to see a bastion. Yeah, I thought he'd already seen a bastion, but it's kind of hard to tell because he does post commentary. Like he might say that he saw a bastion and then he mined gold to get boots, but in the moment it might have been different, you know. If he hadn't actually seen the bastion first, then it was just good luck and very fortunate that the gold ore was sufficient for boots. He was mining right as he saw it. 23 regions weren't centered. I don't know, it was completely harmless and just a decent good play for him to go in any direction when you're at the center of the nether. Like the way that he was.
Still did. So not great there. I still have to make my
Especially
pearls
with
11
pearls.
minutes. And at this point I actually started realizing, okay, this is really good pace. So I throw
So
it
that
back
pearl's
on,
heading inland.
and I
So you need to
then
start thinking about when you're going to get out of this boat.
honestly something that I never do.
And he
I
makes the
always
same
try to
mistake that
dive from
Fyro
the
makes.
point into myself, but it actually
That he
makes
gets
the
too
X go
attached to
down
his boat.
/ up / whatever you want to call it. The X number is rising, even though it's negative.
So no one should be so attached to the boat that they're going to waste time diverting. Maybe you could argue that this is a tall hill and he wants to go around it, but losing your angle means you need to risk another throw. And I mean, I said before that you're banking on low rolls if you get 7 rods. But you don't need to throw eyes needlessly. You should try and stay on the same angle as much as you can. He's still got pearls, right? I'm not sure how many pearls he has, but he still has pearls.
I'm thinking that means, you know, it's screwed. Shoot, it's gonna probably be pretty far.
Maybe that's a scary
but,
enough
you know, we
hill
see a 1700,
that you should
so I'm like,
boat
you know what?
around it, but
Let's throw
I
another
still
eye.
don't like
Let's
how
see-
attached people get to their boats and their dolphins. Keeping your angle and not missing the stronghold is far more important than staying in your boat.
Close. Maybe it is. We'll see. So you'll see I take a little bit of a side angle here and decide to throw another one. And I'm kind of just hoping, like, maybe it's close.
This
maybe
is
it goes behind
basically
me,
a good
and it goes
play
short.
as well. And that's probably... Shouldn't you not keep your angle on blind travel? No, keeping it... I can't see why. Triangulating within a few hundred blocks is the way to go, right? Not sure what you mean. But the strategy that he's done where you throw two eyes quickly is what I really believe in as well. I thought you could go around and regain your angle. Humans aren't that smart. You're relying on humans to be smart too much. It sounds pretty easy, just literally get your angle again, forehead, but whenever you see people try and regain their angle, they completely overshoot the stronghold. Or just lose their angle completely. If you blind travel on a high roll, you should go to the side, throw Signite 100 blocks. That's basically what he did. Is that what you're meaning? Because I didn't really realize that at the time. Like, at the time being a minute ago. Makes sense. Human equals prepare. Yeah, exactly. Maybe if you're a superhuman, I feel like he played it perfect for high roll. Well, that's the theme of this run, is that he played it perfectly for high rolling. And that's what he got. He got high rolls after high rolls because he was asking for them and he got them. And none of it was suspicious either. It would be suspicious if he wasn't making high roll plays and still got high rolls. But all of his plays were leading into high rolls. He was asking for them and then subsequently getting them. But yeah, I totally advocate throwing two eyes basically as soon as you get out of the portal. At any, well, not in a vanilla run where you run to the stronghold from a distance. We're talking about modern runs where you're either nether traveling or in a monument run. Often you're quite close to the stronghold, and you should check these kinds of things because it's so easy to overshoot the stronghold. I feel like a large number of players, again, this is a pretty brilliant run, this one, because he's making sure that if the game does high roll, he's going to be ready to catch it. A high roll is like, it's a metaphor for rolling a 6, right? He's trying to roll 6s. Because he wants to get a world record, and that's exactly what he gets. And playing into high rolls is quite difficult. Put all your money on 6, yeah, exactly. It's difficult to play for high rolls because it feels like you're going to make more mistakes. It feels like, oh man, there's no chance that I'm going to get 12 pearls here. Risk it for the biscuit. Yeah, exactly. It's really hard to play that way. It's easy to play it if there's nothing on the line, like digging down for the stronghold randomly or boating to the stronghold, you know? But if you've got 14 pearls in your inventory, 7 rods, it's like, it's hard to go back to, like everyone when they think of nether travel, right? They think, okay, I'll go back to the overworld, throw an eye, and then make a portal in that direction. It turns out that it's just slower in a lot of ways. Obviously it's more accurate, but it's just going to be slower a lot of the time. And if you want a world record, you can't do educated travel. No, this is one of the least fake runs. There's been faker runs than this. There's another way of saying it. There's been more suspicious runs than this. At no point in this run did I think that something was faked. Yeah, educated travel is just not something you should do if you're going for world record. And that's the difference between playing for world record or playing for sub 20 or sub 30 or sub 40 or these kinds of things. You need to make different plays. If you want a sub 30, do educated travel and you'll nail it. But if you want a sub 20, you need to start doing blind travel. Both are good plays, but they're good plays in different situations. Exact right amount of mistakes and luck and skill, yeah. Yeah, maybe you could start... You save it for the song request. Maybe you could start thinking about No, you couldn't. His biggest mistake so far was not knowing that lava pools generate at a low level, which isn't even a mistake. It's just he doesn't know about it. Mods, can you put the world record in the new? Well, can you put this world record in the command? For !! world record. CT wag. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? 105 viewers with no raid. I don't know how it's happened now. This is the quickest it's happened, I think. Only 1 hour.
5-degree angle. And I'm like, did I misthrow my first eye? Is it actually right here?
Oh, come on, LSD. You just got rid of the damn set seed world record. Look at all that infrastructure gone. One more thing. Not the jungle temple seed, T-Wag. Wait until you can watch me do it. Don't send it in yet.
In the world, but I don't see it in the water here. I was looking.
Can you put the links in though, LSD, and the set seed link as well? I think Winona's gonna do it anyway. Was it Winona? Yeah, Winona's gonna do it. Needs to have the links in it. Most without a raid. Yeah, it was about 140.
For it, I didn't see it, so I.
And this is
decided to
basically
hop on
perfect
Anchor
play.
and
He didn't
one
need to
more
throw
make
this
sure-
eye. He already knew it was here. And that's maybe you could call it a bit of a mistake. Is that he didn't trust. I don't know, maybe it's trusting your instinct. But he's so absolutely certain that
Not losing my mind in
the stronghold is
actually right.
here. But he says he's losing his mind, so that's probably why he throws another eye, because he feels like there's no way that it's here. Because he said, well, maybe he must judge the angle or something. But in hindsight, maybe, or from the back seat. Oh, thanks for the sub, T-Leg. I thought you were sitting in the sea. Maybe you were, and maybe you've diverted. I don't know, it's just so certain that the stronghold is here. So throwing this eye was really risky. There was a chance right here that the run could have ended if it wasn't a one eye and the eye broke, you know. This could have ended the run right here, which is pretty crazy. So maybe this is an even bigger mistake than going right at the hill. But he's at 12 minutes, RTA. And he's pretty sure he's at the stronghold. I don't blame him for making the mistake, but it is a mistake. Throwing this eye is a mistake.
Right here, and I throw it, and the eye goes directly down. I'm like, oh my god. And at this point, I just realize the pace that I'm on.
The run could have instantly ended at that moment.
I did not want to doing anything to me, so I decided to just kill it, and now I do a strat called 4-4. So if you see the XYZ underneath this block, and underneath that is chunk.
Also, some people might say that digging down at exactly 4-4 is a bad move.